Ladies, I am here tonight on this show. I do have some family downstairs, so I'm gonna try to speak a little bit low because I'm trying to pretend I'm at home. I'm autistic. I'm not trying to socialize with people, so I'm gonna try to speak a little bit low tonight, not as much energy because I don't want. I'm not trying to spend time over there downstairs. Anyways, so they have said that WWE had a freaking a meeting before SmackDown this Friday. It was pretty much it was caught by surprise by Vince McMahon as he showed up to the show. Vince McMahon, um, he was in his office, getting ready for the show, and all of a sudden, Triple H and Nick Khan walked into the office, and they had a meeting with him about possibly laying back a little bit from the creative side of things, maybe focusing more on like the business side. um, saying that if Triple H already has a script finalized for the show, try to do everything possible not to try to change it. It gets it really frustrates not only Triple H but also the like the everybody like the wrestlers especially, right? Sometimes they're like, oh, you guys are gonna have a match on the show, and then like two or 1 hour before the show they get taken out of the show. That really pisses them off. So apparently there was a little meeting about that, about Vince McMahon not switching the script as much. We'll see if he listens or not. I mean, he can really do whatever the fuck he wants. He's the chairman of the company. Unless in the future one of the Evander people tell him, hey, you can't be doing this shit. But then when it comes to everybody in WWE, he's the most powerful man in the company. I mean, he's more powerful than both Nick Khan and Triple H. So we'll see how this goes. Rhea Ripley said, and she's very happy with Damian Priest, because the fact that at WrestleMania he was the only one of the Judgment Day he didn't have a match. She's really happy with the match he had at Backlash with Bad Bunny, and then this past week winning the Money in the Bank. I agree, man. R-Truth went to Alabama to go get checked out by a medical staff. The belief is R-Truth is trying to get back in the ring. I think he's like in his 50s. So he was dealing with some injuries a few months ago. So apparently he went to go checked out. So hopefully everything goes good for R-Truth. He's healthy and come back to the ring, man. His comedy is missed at times. So we'll see, man. Um, WWE has announced they're sending uh, Bianca Belair, Montez Ford, Becky Lynch, and Seth Rollins to the Emmys on, I believe they're on Wednesday, which are basically like the the awards for like sports. Um, they're on Wednesday, I do believe. So that's what they're saying. I mean, in the past they sent Roman Reigns, John Cena, even Triple H has gone. So that's who's currently representing the company this week at the Emmys: Becky Lynch, Bianca Belair, Seth Rollins, and Montez Ford. So we'll see. We'll see how that. I don't know. I don't know if WWE's are they in line for any potential awards? I have no idea. Anyways, let's see here. Something they did. This was the highest SmackDown of history. So last year it was the highest show, Money in the Bank, in the history of London. And now this week here in Madison Square Garden in New York, it was the highest sold WWE event in history, man. And the belief is that something WWE is looking at is making the stage smaller. I talked about this in the past, how the stage does take seats away. Um, I believe, like for example, I think even like I think Wembley Stadium is 90,000 people, but they're losing about at least 3 to 4,000 because of the stage. So that's something that WWE has talked about, how about making the stage a little bit smaller. We can get potentially up to maybe 3,000 seats more if we do make the stage a little bit smaller. Um, so that's something that's been talked about in the past. Like, so who knows? We'll see. Remember, was it in Puerto Rico? It was so small. Remember the freaking stage? Remember, guys, for that one SmackDown they had, and then the Backlash. Maybe that's something they're looking at. So we'll see. Which is basically just like a little. I don't even think they had a Titantron. It's just basically the ramp and the curtain. All right, so we'll see. Um, but that's basically everything for the fucking news, ladies and gentlemen. Um, that is basically everything for the freaking news. Let's sue SmackDown recap for Friday. Jesus Christ, SmackDown. I believe the date was it July 7, 2023. July 7, 2023. I beg your pardon. Where's my? Here we go. Let's see here. Yeah, hold on. Oh man, hopefully they don't hear me. I'm not trying to socialize. Anyways, so this show was basically the bloodline. They started the show the first 45 minutes. They ended at the last 10. They did try to get some school. They stacked out the card for this show, but I thought they rushed through a lot of stuff. Let's go. So obviously the first segment is the freaking bloodline. It kicks off with the Usos. They're happy they pinned Roman Reigns. They're celebrating. And then Paul Heyman and Solo come out, and they do a promo. And then Paul Heyman is like, "Hey man, nobody." Those tell him to shut up, and he's like, "Nobody tells me to shut up. There's only one man that does." And he's referring to Roman Reigns. But as soon as he's about to say Roman Reigns, freaking Solo grabs the microphone. He throws it out the ring, and he's just standing in the corner. Paul Heyman's on the other side. The Usos are in the middle, and all of a sudden, Roman Reigns music hits. And from there, man, they're just going at it. They had it muted because the fans are chanting "You fucked up." They're chanting "You got pinned." The Usos show a video of all the times Roman Reigns has mistreated the family. And then Roman Reigns is like, "You know what, man? I have 5 kids. Last thing I need is to put up with not only you, Jay, but your family. Not only you, Jimmy, but your family. And not only you, Solo, but your family. I don't need this shit anymore. I got my money. I got my championships. I got everything, man. At this point, I no longer need this shit anymore. I don't want to do this anymore." So they're making us think he's quitting, like he's resigning as a tribal chief. And freaking, he hands the lades over to he puts it on Jay, and then he even takes the championship away, and then he gets on his knees, and then this is why I don't kind of like that the Usos, especially Jay. Jay still seems like he's still like mentally having breakdowns, right? He's having once again. Jay's like just staring at him the whole time, like freaked out, and then as he gives him the lays and he takes the championship off his waist and he gets on his knees, Jay actually like touches him right like in the forehead, and he's like, "You don't have to do this," and shit like that. And if he's trying to console him, Roman hits Jay in the balls. From there, Jimmy saw a shot. He takes a while to react, but then finally Jimmy reacts. He attacks Roman Reigns. Then Solo comes on and he attacks Jimmy. And then freaking everybody's down. All 3 members, Jimmy, Roman, and Jay are down. And then the ladies are in the middle. It was interesting too that he had 2 options because the championship was also down there. But he instead Solo grabbed the ladies and he's like holding the ladies like he wants to be the tribal chief. And then once again, I think Jay comes and he attacks Solo. So then just a fight breaks down. Eventually, I think once again he grabs the lays and he hands them over to Roman Reigns. And then they start going outside. They beat up. They tie up Jay within the ropes, and they force as Roman and Solo are beating the shit out of Jimmy. They hit him with the belt. They hit him with the steel steps. And then, finally Jay breaks loose, but it's 2-on-1. They throw him through onto the announce table. Then they have all the chairs. They're putting him in a pile with the chairs and everything. And then they freaking grab Jimmy. They put him on the announce table. And Solo goes on the security barricade and he jumps through the security barricade, through the table, puts Jimmy through the table. And that's basically it. They bring out the medical staff. They stretcher Jimmy out of the building. They put him in an ambulance. That was basically it. But very interesting, man. A lot of people are saying that Jay's gonna be out, that he's not gonna be part of this storyline going forward. I know he did get arrested in 2021, and they wanted to suspend him, but they couldn't because of the storyline. I wonder if maybe they're going to use this time so they can maybe focus on a Jey Uso Roman Reigns one-on-one match. They say, hey, take this time to take your 2021 suspension for getting arrested. Who knows? But there's a lot of people that believe the reason why they only had to like Jimmy get out, like Jey was walked away with it, where Jimmy got put on a stretch and into an ambulance, is because he is possibly expected to take some time off as Jimmy. But maybe he can be back by SummerSlam, right? That's in 3 weeks. He could take, if they want to suspend him for maybe 2 or 3 weeks for, I don't know, getting arrested in back in 2021, maybe he gets, take these 2 weeks off, take it as your suspension from 2021, and you'll be back for SummerSlam. Because I assume he has to be there for SummerSlam. Obviously, he has to have back up his brother, right? Because, Solo's going to be there. But anyway, let's move along, ladies and gentlemen. That's basically like the first 45 minutes of the show, man. Then we freaking get a dude, that segment was so long. Here we go. We get a freaking Sheamus, Austin Theory versus Sheamus for the United States Championship. This match was actually good. In fact, I thought at times Sheamus kind of dominated this match. About 75% of the match, Sheamus dominated. But at the end, fucking Pretty Deadly show up again. They do the distraction. Then freaking Butch and Holland, they come out to help even out the odds. But then at the end there, I think it was Prince. He gets on the apron right as Sheamus is about to hit the bro kick on Austin Theory. So instead, Sheamus at the last moment turns and hits Prince with the bro kick, and that just gives Austin Theory enough time to win the match. So Austin Theory he actually just got him with a roll up, a fucking fruit roll up. And he grabbed him by the tights, and that's how he won the fucking match, man. So Austin Theory freaking retained the championship. Oh my lord! And a lot of people were hoping for a build-up for a potentially triple threat match between Austin Theory, Sheamus, and LA Knight. But LA Knight never came out. And then we get the Grayson Waller effect with Edge in the ring, and Grayson Waller saying he's here to make a big announcement. He's here to say that he's going to retire. And Edge just like, no, man, not at all, man. If anything, I'm here to tell you and I are having a match. I went to the executives tonight, and I want to have a match here in New York in Madison Square Garden. And tonight it's you versus me for your first ever SmackDown match. So I thought something was going to happen where they were not going to have the match. I was actually shocked they had the match. And because of they had that match and they give that match good time, they did rush in some good stuff. After that, you freaking had AJ Styles versus Karrion Kross by about 5 minutes. They completely rushed that match. Completely rushed it. And then you freaking had a women's segment with Asuka, in the ring, and then it gets interrupted by Bianca Belair. They start fighting. Then Charlotte Flair comes out, and then Io Sky and Bayley come out, and they tease, and Io Sky cashing her Money in the Bank briefcase. That was also kind of rushed. And then you freaking had the Edge versus Grayson Waller match, which was this one they did give time. They only about 3 things they gave time. Probably the bloodlines, the bloodline segments, the Austin Theory Sheamus match, and then Edge versus Grayson Waller. Everything else seemed kind of rushed in this show. It seemed like they wanted to stack it up the card so bad that some of the stuff, like, they should have maybe done Grayson Waller versus Edge next week, or even fucking do a good storyline and have the match be at SummerSlam. And give more time to the women's segment and give more time to the match between AJ Styles and Karrion Kross. I thought those 2 segments, especially the women's segment and the AJ Styles Karrion Kross, were really rushed. So Edge Grayson Waller was a very good match, man, back and forth. 2 times Edge tried to hit the spear and Grayson Waller counter it. The 3rd time Edge finally hit it. Grayson Waller, I don't know what his finisher is because I don't watch NXT, but apparently he was about to do his finisher, and he goes outside the ring, and then he does like a flip and gets back in the ring through the ropes, and as he's in the air, Edge hits him with a spear, and that's how he wins the match. So I don't know. I don't even know what the hell the finisher, because I don't really watch NXT. This was my first time watching Grayson Waller wrestle. So that's interesting. I want to know what the hell the finisher is. If he gets out of the ring and then he kind of like cartwheels and flips back into the ring. I can't wait to see what his finisher is, man. But then Edge hits him after the match. He tells him, "Hey kid, you swung," because that was the whole thing in the segment with like, we're gonna see tonight if you can. Are you gonna swim or are you gonna drown? And he tells him after the match, "Hey kid, congratulations, you did swim." So he gave him credit. I don't know if we're gonna get any of this anymore. With Grayson Waller and Edge, we'll see what happens. But great to see Grayson Waller back healthy after having a leg injury and having his first match on SmackDown. Man, he looked good. And then after that, we have a backstage segment with Paul Heyman telling Roman Reigns, "Hey, Roman, Jay is back in the building, man." And he's looking for you. And then Roman's like, he doesn't have to look much because we're heading out to the ring. I'm calling him out. And then freaking they go out to the ring, freaking the Roman Reigns, Paul Heyman, and Solo Sikoa. And they're like, "All right, Jay, where are you?" And then freaking the music hits, the Jay music hits. But instead he comes out to the crowd, kind of like the way Roman Reigns used to come out of the crowd when he was with the Shield. And then Solo's waiting for him, but they actually freaking. It was the first time I seen Solo kind of get his ass whooped. They start fighting, and then freaking Jay sends him to the steel post, and then he goes at Roman. Man, he and Roman start beating each other up, and then Solo tries to get at it again, but he has a chair. I think he hits first. He hits Roman with the chair. I think he grabbed the chair after he hit Solo on the steel post, and he hits Roman has the belt. So Roman has the belt, Jay has the chair, and as Roman's up, they swing at the same time, but Jay gets him in the ribs with the chair. Roman drops the belt, and then he gets him a second time on the back, and then Solo gets in, same thing. He gets Solo in the ribs, and then he gets him in the back, and then Roman Reigns and Paul Heyman run off to the top of the ramp, and he's just beating the shit out of Solo with the chair. It's Jey Uso, and then after that, he throws the chair down and he grabs the freaking championship and like, "Don't you dare give it back, give it back." And Jey Uso says, "You know what, Roman? I'm done with this brother shit. I'm done with this wise man shit. I'm done with everything. It's just you and me now. You and me, man. Accept my challenge so I can whip your ass again." He didn't say SummerSlam, but I have a feeling it obviously is going to be SummerSlam. And that's how pretty much the show ends with Jay holding the championship, challenging Roman Reigns to a one-on-one match. And that's pretty much the end of the show, man. This is a very good show, man. Like I said, I think they did rush some things there in the middle with the woman segment and the AJ Styles King Cross match. But other than that, I even liked what they did with the segment with Karrion Kross. I mean, with Grayson Waller and Edge. And even then the 15, 20 minute match they had. I think it really made Grayson Waller look good. Obviously, the Bloodline stuff was great. Supposedly, they said they were supposed to go shorter, but they went longer. I don't know. Supposedly, they said it was supposed to be, especially the opening segment was supposed to be a lot shorter. And they ended up going about 45 minutes. A lot of people were saying that the beatdown that Solo and Roman gave to the Usos was supposed to be a lot more faster. And for some reason, I don't know, I guess maybe Paul Heyman told him, "Hey, guys, take your time with this beatdown. Make it look good." I don't know. But anyways, good stuff, man. Good show. Very easy to watch when it's like, even though it was a little bit rushed in the middle, at least everything kind of mattered, right? Even like the AJ Styles, Karrion Kross match kind of mattered. Everything mattered. Austin Theory, Sheamus, everything mattered. Great show. It's pretty easy to watch. Much, much, much better than Raw. You looked at Raw this week. You started off good with the Cody Rhodes and Brock Lesnar fight, and then you ended up with Seth Rollins and Dominic Mysterio and Damian Priest teasing a cash-in. but then the middle kind of sucked. You did have a good women's stuff. You know, you had Rhea Ripley versus Natalia, possibly the best match of the night. You know, the Ronda Rousey, Shayna Baszler stuff, and even if you care for the Becky Lynch, Trish Stratus stuff. But I thought like the Raw wasn't that good this week, especially in the middle. What this show was good from start to finish. SmackDown was much better, man. Freaking much better show, man. But anyway, that's basically it. Until next time, I'm finished. Holla, I'm finished.